like this? I got booked to do a show near my hometown. I invited my parents to it. When I showed up, there were only 3 people in the audience. 2 of them were my parents. The other was my soul, which had left my body. I had performed for 20 minutes, and I think that's the longest I've ever talked to my dad in my entire life. I get along with my dad, but we're very different as people. He's a 3rd-generation farmer. I'm a 1st-generation trying to do me. And no matter what happens, my dad has 2 sayings. If something's good, he says, it's not good, it's great. And if something's bad, he says, it is what it is. Right? Like if the weather outside is beautiful, it's not good, it's great. Tony's doing comedy, it is what it is. Right? And my dad prides himself on being able to take care of himself, and he hates the idea that as he gets older, he won't be able to do that. Like one time we were watching a news story on TV. It was about a guy who fell off a roof and was paralyzed from the neck down. And my dad's like, Tony, if I'm ever like that, I want you to take me out back and shoot me. I was like, I'm going to need that in writing. I don't think people are going to just take my word for it. They're like, why'd you murder your father? I'm like, he was asking for it. Right? And recently my girlfriend's like, I don't understand how anyone could ever put down their own dog. I was like, you think that's bad? I might have to put down my dad. Right? But yeah, I grew up in a small town. I grew up in Hadley, Massachusetts. And Hadley is the self-proclaimed asparagus capital of the world. Yeah, it's piss stank. I have to say Hadley's the self-proclaimed asparagus capital because it's not the only town with that title. There's another one in Germany. It's a town called Schlesingen, and they pride themselves on having asparagus that's white. How German is that? They're like, yeah, even our produce is Aryan. And I found a recipe on how people there like to cook their asparagus, and it said, step 1, preheat the oven. I was like, I knew it. History repeats itself again. Right, but if you go to a grocery store and buy asparagus, odds are it's from the country of Peru, and that wasn't always the case. In the 90s, Peruvian farmers were growing cocoa leaves, because the country's main export is cocaine. But the US government didn't like that, and this is true. We took American tax dollars and paid Peruvian farmers to start growing asparagus. So now, decades later, Peru is the leading exporter of asparagus and cocaine. They never stopped growing it. Right? The idea that someone would stop growing cocoa leaves to grow asparagus is what you think of while on cocaine. Right? But what I don't like is we pay another country to compete with US businesses. Right? That's wrong. I think what we should do now is pay American farmers to make cocaine. Right? Because the main problem we have with drugs right now is they're being cut with fentanyl. Right? You don't have that issue if you get your coke at the farmer's market. Right? Just 9 a.m. sipping on cold brew, doing T-bumps out of your NPR tote. Right? You're at a party, someone's chopping up lines, they're like, oh, this coke, it's farm to mirror. But yeah, and this is a small town area, right? Like everyone here grew up in small towns? Yeah, here's the thing. I live in New York City now. One of my favorite things is visiting the country with my friends who've lived their entire life in the city, because you get to see them experience nature for the first time. But I went camping with a friend, and at night, there were crickets outside of our tent. He looked at me panicked and was like, what is that? I was like, oh, he doesn't know what crickets are. Right? But I wanted to feel comfortable like he was back in New York, so I was like, don't worry, they're Puerto Ricans. He's like, wow, they sound different in the country. They really do. Right? I like living in New York, but I hate the wildlife there because all the animals in New York act like people. Right? Like I was walking in Central Park, there was a squirrel in the path ahead of me. I didn't want to step on him. To get him to move, I like juked at him. He didn't flinch at all. He just stared me down. I was like, am I gonna fight this squirrel? But then I saw he had a teardrop tattoo, I was like, my bad. Did not know this was gang territory, did not know. But yeah, I love animals. Me and my girlfriend, we just started fostering a rescue dog. And here's the thing, I love rescuing animals. It's not for any moral reason, I just think they're more interesting. Right, because every rescue animal has a dark past. And all you can do is guess what happened based on how they react to random things. Right, like my friend has a doggy, he starts shaking anytime he sees a Christmas tree. I'm like, I guess he's Jewish? That's why anyone who has a rescue animal tells you about it immediately. They're not bragging, it's a warning. They're like, this is my dog, he's a rescue, I don't know why he does that. Don't blame me. But I love the phrase rescue as a way to let people know they have past trauma they're still dealing with. I wish we could use that for humans. Right? Because I have a lot of friends in therapy. It would make introducing them to people so much easier. If I could be like, this is my friend Anne. She's a rescue. She's friendly, but if you're a DJ, she will bite. And when I was in college, me and my roommates, we tried rescuing a cat. We just moved into a new house. That night, we're on the front porch, we're drinking. This cat walks up, and we looked at its collar. It said the name of an animal shelter 10 miles away. So we're like, oh, we'll bring him inside, keep him safe, call the shelter in the morning. So we bring him in, and within minutes, he catches and kills a mouse. And we're like, change of plans, we're adopting this cat. Right, and this was when Osama bin Laden was killed, so we're like, his new name's SEAL Team 6. He's a killer. Right, that was time for bed. So I bring him into my room. I had a window that faced the street, and all night the cat was at the window scratching and moaning. I was like, oh, he doesn't know that he's safe. So I was like, shh, this is your new home now. This is your new home. In the morning, I called the shelter, and they told me the cat hadn't escaped. He actually lived in the house directly across the street from us. Right, so we all thought we rescued him, but really we just kidnapped him. So from this cat's perspective, he went out for a nighttime walk. A bunch of drunk guys grabbed him, brought him in a house, gave him a new name, then put him in a room where he could see his real home. And then I walked up and was like, shh, this is your new home now.